All right, so let's see what we can get into today. Get into today because I know we got to get this finished up, and I actually need to get my receptacles wired in up here too, if you can see. So that has to get done. We got to get this finished up. So let's get to it. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. I'm going to get a second coat put on this. This is just the first coat we put on yesterday, so we're just going to get a second coat put on, and I'll be right back after that's done. So we got that all done. We got the second coat on all this and over here, everything above the door and here, and there was a couple spots I had to touch up on the wall over here. So that's all done. Now we're gonna go ahead and get started on this receptacle. Right. Those are in. Ordinarily I would put a pigtail on them, but since I have so much extra wire on these, I'm not worried about it. So if in the future, if they've been changed out a few times, then they might want to pigtail them, but for right now, these are good. So I got the one up here for the TV, and we got the other one down here. This is going to be just for general use. Now we get the fun part, going up here and getting all of that put together. So I don't know if I can get a good spot for you guys to have a view on that. But most importantly, before I even do that, because I remember I capped them, so you can see the hots are all capped there, because once I had them disconnected, I turned my kill switch back on, so that way I could actually use my USB port here to charge this camera. So let's go ahead and make sure we get that turned off before we play with the wires. All right, we got that turned off. So now we're gonna come over here and climb up here and try to get this done. But like I said, I don't know if I can get a good view for you, but if I can, I'll get you up there. But if not, you're just gonna have to wait until I'm done. Couldn't find a good position for you, so I'll just show you the after effects here. And when you're doing this, especially since I have 5 12-gauge wires in here, make sure you're pre-twisting before you try to put any nuts on. So this is what we look like inside the box. So you can see everything was pre-twisted before these were put on. It makes it so much better. You don't have to worry about it falling apart. All right, now before we go too far, before I turn power back on, we're gonna go with our meter, just test it, just to make sure we don't have any shorts or anything. So stick around, I'll be right back after I get that done. Or better yet, I can just take you with me so you can see what we're gonna do here as far as using our meter to check these receptacles. All right, so I gotta set the resistance here. So you can see it says overload. So if I touch the leads together, it goes down to 0. So now I know I can test the receptacle, and if I have 0 going from plug to plug or pin to pin, then something's wrong. So good on that. Good on that. And we're good. All right, so you can see I tested all 3 of the receptacles that way. Then we turn the switch back on over here. So that switch is turned back on. So now we can get our handy dandy little tester just to make sure I didn't flip any wires or polarity. To yellow. Okay, that one's good. To yellow, that one's good. To yellow. And to yellow. So that's a success. Now that we got that all done, let's see what else we can get into here. I think for now we're just gonna call it for lunch, but I'll go ahead and I got the dehumidifier plugged in, so that way it can help to pull some of the moisture out of the mud on the walls, and hopefully it'll dry a little bit quicker for me. Guilty of, I've been doing some work without being on camera here, but you can see what I actually got accomplished here. I got my little drill station set up again, so I have that here, and I got it set up so I can have my batteries right below. I got plenty of shelf to expand, and this is where I keep all my electrical boxes and parts and everything else, so they're going to be down underneath there. So I got this much set up so far, but now I'm looking at setting up the pegboard over here with stuff that I don't normally use on every day. Alright, you can see I got most of this set up over here, but I got it pretty well heavily packed because I'm still not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this side. Because I still have all over there, but that's going to be above the workbench, so I want that as more like small hand tools I'm going to use more often. Over here are the things that I'm not going to use quite often. So some of these might end up gravitating to over there, but we're going to let that one as a blank slate until we get things moving. Alright, now we're going to get started. We're going to go through and get some sanding done on this and see if there's any spots that need touched up. Now I got all the messiest part done and I got most of it cleaned up. I mean, there is still some residue on the floor, but you can see I got some spots that I need to go back and touch up. This was only my second coat, so a lot of it is actually good, but there is some spots like down here also where I do got to build up a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and put another coat on and wait for that to dry and sand that down. So we went ahead today and I did already get the sanding knocked off. The little spots I had to touch up because there was like one here, one over there, and a little bit down here. So that's already been taken care of. And I've already gone through and actually vacuumed the floor, so I'm not tracking it all over the place. So you can still see there's a little bit of a dust, but much better than it was. Now we're gonna get the paint out. Primer's all done. Just gotta let that dry, give it about an hour, then I'll come back and I'll hit it with the paint. All right, primer's all dry. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the paint on. Coat of paint on here, just gotta let that dry. We'll see how it turns out. But other than that, right now I'm gonna go clean my brushes out. And I was asked too why I chose such light colors for down here in the workshop. And really it comes down to, I'm in the basement, so I'm trying to make this as light and bright as possible. Yeah, I might end up with some dirt spots on the walls or over here somewhere in the dirt, but you know what? It's gonna make it overall brighter and it's gonna give it a crisper, cleaner look. And that's really what I wanna go for. Hey, if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. They greatly do help the channel. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And click that bell so that way you can be notified when new ones come out.